Grandma Pat Cooper tells the story like it was yesterday, only Brad was only 3 years old. He was shopping with his mom and he saw a picture of Mickey Mouse. He said, "I have to put that on layaway." Brad's death from heart failure was sudden news and it shocked us all. Brad has been there for me all my life, since we were small kids playing capture the flag with all the neighborhood kids. He has always been an awesome role model. He's been a good friend. He has always been a good listener and always in a good mood and tried his hardest to make everyone's day a little easier. I'm assuming because you're here today, Brad impacted your life in some positive way. Brad has always been there, whether for support, just to help out, or just to listen. He always made you smile and did what was necessary to make your day, your tomorrow, or your life a little easier. And one of the hardest workers you will ever see. It started at a very young age for Brad. In fact, he was only 5. He would get up before his parents, make Heather's food, change her diaper, and make his own breakfast all before they woke up. But Brad was always there for his family. Besides being a third parent for Heather, he also played the big brother role pretty good too. Heather told me a story of how they would remember how they'd stay up and think of these crazy combinations to make gummy candies, and even use Mountain Dew. I remember him driving me around to basketball and picking me up after school and dragging me along to all of his basketball pasta parties and practices, Heather said. He thought it was dragging me around, but I loved it. That's the way life was. That's all I knew. But I was hanging out with Big Brother. As Brad got old enough to move out, he was still there for his family and his sister. When Heather and his mom Joan were struggling with everyday life, he had kept a level head and saw it from both sides of the story. Even though at the time they didn't want to hear that side of the story, because their side was all that mattered. This was an important life lesson that Heather told me she had learned, but didn't realize until she was older. He was always there, even if it was just a talk on the phone, always reassuring and always having positive outlook. The support, attitude, and that positive outlook was contagious that carried on to me through my life. Knowing he could take so much responsibility at a young age was inspiring. He always would do whatever it took to make your day a little easier, to make you smile. I remember nights of just goofing around and constant laughter about something. It didn't matter what. It was always genuine though, and the wall was never put up. Grandma Cooper always said, you could always count on Brad being himself, and you knew it was genuine. Grandma Cooper also loved how to hear how his life was going, share stories with her. She remembered how excited he was to share these stories with her. It was no different when Brad was picking out a ring for Nicole. She appreciated and loved the fact that Brad would share this moment with his family, and she knew it was important to him, and that made her day a little easier. The fact that he was always emotionally available made all of our lives a little easier in the family. Brad would say his life got a little harder when Nicole and he got married. But not in the way you would think. Nicole was truly his better half, trying his hardest every day to prove the doubters wrong and carry out his dreams with Nicole and continue to pursue his career. Brad will always say how thankful he was that she supported him and decided to take his career shift and go back to school, or go up to that new job at home office, which, by the way, he got. Never wavered, no matter how tough it got. He would never show how much he was stressed or let the waver his passion for his life and career. He was always focused on the task at hand, no matter how tired he was. Brad shared a story about a text Nicole sent him during interviewing for the home office position and going back to school and doing his current position. It said, and she said, no matter what happened, I am very proud of you. Whether it was making you smile, sharing his best moments with you, and wearing his heart on his sleeve, he always made you think, how can I make this situation better? What would Brad do? I know you're looking down on us, Brad, and thinking about how and what you would say to make this moment for us a little easier. The fact is, Brad did make our lives easier and always made me smile and made me admire him as a father figure, a loving brother, and friend. I get a lot of my hard-working habits from him. He would always say, if you're not moving forward, you're moving back. Grandma mentioned the love that I showed towards Brad, I knew I would give back in return. He was a kind, giving soul who never asked for anything in return. Don't worry, Brad, we will always remember. If we're not moving forward, we're moving back.